Hi, and welcome to the Bithika Show. I'm your host, Bithika, and my goal is to bring you the best and the brightest of the Bengali community. My guest today is someone who very actively participates in Bengali programs. He's a member of 3 bands, which is no surprise because he's an extremely talented musician with a very unique voice. Allow me to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine, Ovik Rahman. Ovik, thank you so much for being on my show.
It's an absolute pleasure.
So I've known you since high school, and ever since I've known you, you have been obsessed with music. So when did that start and how?
I think the obsession started at a really young age. My mom made me listen to Michael Jackson for the first time.
Classic.
Yeah, it was a classic. It was Thriller, I think, with the video with the zombies.
That is literally my all-time favorite song. So
Really?
kudos to your mom.
I didn't even know. Yeah, Mom was cool that way. She got me into music at a really young age. It was Michael Jackson's Thriller, and then I used to listen to a lot of Bollywood because my cousins would listen to it, right? So I wasn't obsessed at that time, but it was playing all the time. You know, the music, the tunes. It's part of my family. We come up from a very cultural family.
That's right.
But it was when I was 15, when I went to start going to high school with you, actually. That's when I started picking up the guitar and listening to a lot of rock music, you know.
Right.
People were listening to Linkin Park, Metallica, Iron Maiden, all these bands. And I've always wanted to be like one of those people up on stage, you know. It's a really powerful feeling when... well, you're a singer, right?
Well, we are in a band together, actually.
And like, how does it make you feel when like all these people are just cheering to you and they're just matching their mood with you, but in this one whole thing called art?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. But I'll be asking you the questions, thank you. How does it make you feel when you're performing on stage?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know.
Of course. Yeah, so when I was watching all those concert videos, Metallica, I mean those rock bands, you know, as a kid, I always wanted to be one of those people up on stage, you know, just it's such a powerful feeling to affect a whole crowd of people.
Oh yeah, it's
who are
beautiful.
cheering, and I just wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And it started from the concerts, picking up the guitar myself.
Oh, you did that by yourself?
Yeah, I did have teachers, but like not professional ones. My first guitar teacher was actually my math tutor.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, he used to come over at home, and we'd do 1 hour of math and 2 hours of just music, right?
Oh, did your mom know that?
My
you
mom
weren't doing math for 2 hours?
My mom found out later on that I was, but he would stay back. Like he was getting paid for 1 hour.
Oh,
but
okay.
He would stay back
Wow.
2 extra hours just to show me guitar, and because we were sharing the same kind of music. So that's the most beautiful thing I found about music is when you're musically connected. It doesn't even matter if you're a musician or just a listener. If you're a music lover, you can connect with any music lovers anywhere in the world, and it's just you feel bonded to them, right? So that's how those thoughts is how the obsession.
Wow, that's
started,
a very
right?
good point. Who would you say is your favorite musician of all time?
Of all time. That's the most difficult question
I know.
to ask a musician.
Do you have a top 5 maybe, or?
It's hard to go for a top 5. I'll off the top of my tongue, I'll probably always go for David Gilmour. He's the guitarist of Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
Right, and he started in the 70s. He was doing rock music, but it was of a different spiritual level, right? So just to pick one musician of all time, I would have to go with him. He's a beautiful voice, and he's a beautiful guitarist too.
Fair enough. Who would you say is your favorite Bengali artist, though?
My favorite Bengali artist? Well, there are just so many generations of artists.
I know a lot of people who are into rock, they always say James. James is the go-to.
amazing.
You like James?
Yeah, I love James. My favorite, just one, that's very different. James is one of them. I love Art Cell, and I love Orno. I think,
classic.
Yeah, I think like to go for someone from our generation or like near our generation,
Yeah.
I would have to go with Orno because he has been experimenting a lot. Every album has a different flavor to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you play music, you tend to try out different flavors and different genres. Did you say rock was your favorite genre?
Rock is how I got into music, but yeah, there are other. I try to listen to everything.
Okay.
To be honest, yeah, it's very important for someone who's trying to be an artist as a profession to completely try to break the chain every time. You know? Or else the music does get boring. We don't want to. We like having influences, but we don't want to sound like someone else. We always are. The fight is to come up with a new sound.
Yeah, and every time I see you, you're always playing a different song on stage. A lot of times you're playing guitar, sometimes the bass, and it's always something different. You know, sometimes we go to programs and we see the same people performing the same songs, but you bring something new to the stage, which is really great to see.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
You're also often seen with different people. So Ovik here, as I said before, is a member of 3 bands. One is Recall, which is definitely gaining some popularity. Another one is Jantrik. And another one is FYI, which I am also a part of. So why are you part of other bands? You should only be in mine. Who let you be in other bands? How do you keep up with 3 bands is what I'm asking.
It is more difficult than I thought it was when I started 3 bands, to be very honest with you. Because I made the decision when I absolutely decided that I want to do this as a profession, as a passion. Like I made the decision to spend most of my time with music.
Speaking of which, you actually went to school for, what was it, sound production?
I was audio engineering.
Audio, okay. And what did you learn from there?
Well, from audio engineering, it helped me like better dress up my music, you know, if you know what I mean? Because music is not just tunes, it's how it's presented. That's the reason I went to school for audio. And then that's how I started making music a real part of my life. You know? That's how the 3 bands come in. I'm not playing guitar in all of the bands. I'm playing bass in 2 of them. I'm playing guitar with you in our band. And all of them have 3 different targets. Right? With Recall, what we're doing is we're trying to do alternative rock, mix it up with Bengali music, and bring something new to the table in Bengali music.
Yeah. And they have a very popular song. What was it again?
Yeah, it's Atada Bhalobashi.
Yeah, and I've seen you perform it. It was amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So
Recall, with the album, we're actually working on the album. It's called Aparajito. It's going to come out sometime this year, and maybe late in the summer, near September.
Okay, I'm sure some of our viewers would be interested to hear that album.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're just working really hard on that one. And the other 2 bands, like I said, I made the decision to do this for forever, you know? So the decision to go for 3 bands was something that came easier to me. However, it is harder to maintain.
Right.
Because, you know, everyone has lives.
Different schedules,
right? So just to get, even with us, it's so hard to get a rehearsal going every week. But we're trying our best, you know?
we do.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
And so out of the 3 bands, which one is your favorite?
I'm not allowed to be answering that question.
Okay, fair enough. That information's confidential, huh?
Of course, but yeah, I'm trying my best in all 3 bands because they're all part of my career, you know.
Okay, so this is kind of your full-time thing now. You're really deep into music.
Yes.
Are you looking to write your own songs or anything like that?
I do write my own music, but what I'm also trying to do is I'm trying to be a music producer. It's not just these 3 bands. These bands are giving me the kind of experience I need to become a producer. I do work with different singers, solo singers, to make music for them, and just help them find what their own songs sound like. Some singers who are I know some absolutely really talented singers in the city that have become I'm privileged to know them.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's just beautiful voices and beautiful ideas, but they just don't have the time or they don't want to put the effort to turn into a real song. So what I love to do is that's
where you come in.
That's where I come in. Yeah, and I just I could tell them that this is a beautiful song. You should come, and I will put in an effort just to make the song real. And it's not about money. It's just that there's art, and I just love to bring it out of someone and just work with them and make it beautiful. You know.
Absolutely. That being said, where would you see yourself, let's say, in 5 years?
In 5 years. Well, there are dreams.
Well, tell us some of your dreams then. Let's hear it.
Well, one of them is since I'm born Bengali, you know, I lived in Bangladesh for 15 years, working with music. I do want to make an impact on the Bengali music scene, but it's definitely very difficult, you know.
Lots of competition.
Yeah,
right?
Lots of competition, and just to come up with a sound that everyone would like. It's more difficult doing that in Bangladesh, living here, because I'm not in loop with the culture there, right?
That's true, that's true.
But that's one of my dreams. I do want to break in there and do something. You know? I also really want to move to California and just work in Hollywood, you know?
Oh, wow.
As anything.
Doing something for movies, maybe, producing
anything,
music for that.
movies, I just want to be in that scene.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'm working so hard
That's
for.
very polar opposite from being part of the Bengali culture.
It is. Isn't it?
It's on the other end of the spectrum, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's why they're dreams, you know? You just have to, like...
Well, no, so then it's like you have a backup dream. If one doesn't work out, you can always go to California. Okay, why not? Why not?
Yeah, like that's because I've picked this is what I want to do for a while. So, it's better to dream than not to.
Oh, it's good to see that you're not limiting yourself. That being said, there aren't a lot of Bengali people who actually dedicate themselves to music. Often music is just a hobby for them.
Yeah, see, I actually really want to address that, because I want to tell that to all the talents out there. There's so many beautiful talent, beautiful singers.
Tell our viewers what advice you have for them.
And I just want to tell them that this is, I know it feels like a hobby, but this is so much more than a hobby, you know? Art and music is something that empowers us through anything through our lives, be it family, be it needing inspiration for our careers. A hobby is something you just do to pass time. This is something if we're a little more passionate about it, if we put some effort in doing it more beautifully, it can be a huge part of our lives, and it can connect us to everything, you know, with family, with nature, and everything.
For sure. So you're in 3 bands, and I've seen you play guitar, I've seen you play bass, along with many other instruments, and you've pretty much perfected the guitar, but what else can you dabble in?
Well, I haven't exactly perfected the guitar.
Okay, well, you've nailed it. You're pretty close to that.
I have been playing it for a while. Thank you. I started playing the bass with 2 bands. I'm really enjoying the instrument. I've also I'm trying to learn the drums at the same time. I'm not really playing drums that well to be playing in a band yet.
Yeah.
But that's one of my goals, to just nail most of the instruments that's needed in a rock band or in a band scenario.
For sure. Plus, there seems to be a very high demand, but not so many people who actually play the drums in our community. Even tabla, there's not that many, but especially drums. Very few people, right? Yeah.
Very few people are picking up the drums because it's a very loud instrument. You know, you need space in your house and just the ability to make a lot of noise. Just the guitar has been the easiest instrument to pick up. Most people, that's why pick it up.
Have you ever taught anyone else to play the guitar?
I did have a lot of students. I used to teach a lot. I haven't done that in a while. It is a lot of fun just to show someone how to play an instrument.
Yeah, for sure. Just inspiring someone else. Definitely, I saw your guitar playing and I thought to myself, I would like to learn to play the guitar like that someday.
Yeah, for sure you could.
Yeah, I mean, you usually do a lot of improv when you're playing, even when you're on stage, you might just change things up a little bit.
Yeah, improv is something that's what I think that's the most beautiful part about music. You know, just when you're letting your heart flow into it, and just the next things that are coming to your head. Improv is something that actually got me so much into music.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of improv music, it's basically making up the music as you go along. So that's what I'm saying. Ovik is actually very good at that. I've seen him do it in person where you don't have to tell him what to play. He just plays it from his heart, and that's what real art is. It comes from the heart, right?
Of course. That's what something takes a lot of dedication, and that's something else we can never stop improving on. You know, I still think of myself as a very low improv artist because it can just improve so much. The more you play, the more music you listen to. Actually, that's how you get better improv. Playing music, one of the most important parts about being an artist or a musician is not just the practice. We're always talking about the practice, but it's also about what do you listen to, and listening to a lot of it.
Yeah.
Even for a painter to be painting well, he has to look at a lot of paintings.
Very true.
Find his own taste.
Yeah.
So that most of the talented parts, the good parts of being an artist, comes from enjoying the right kind of art.
That's Fair enough. I mean, I know through you, I've definitely been exposed to a lot more genres of music that I normally wouldn't have listened
to. And likewise, too, you have introduced me to a lot of music.
Yeah, for sure. And even to Bengali music, I know I didn't listen to too much of it. I listened to a lot of classic stuff before, but now you've introduced me to some Bengali rock, especially some of your own stuff. And between English and Bengali music, which one do you prefer?
Well, it's hard preference, right?
Yeah, it might just be 50-50 then.
Yeah, it could be. Because just that when it comes to music, language is something that haven't put too much importance on. I've always focused on the tunes. But the thing about music from your own culture, that goes with anything, is it just you connect to it on a very deeper level. Bengali is my first language.
Yeah.
And so when I'm listening to Bengali music, when I'm listening to the lyrics, they just always feel a lot closer to me. It feels more personal. That's why, I will always be biased towards Bengali music, because I was born there. For sure.
That makes sense. Yeah. And when was the last time you went to Bangladesh?
Oh, it's been a long time.
I think so, yeah. I don't think you've been in... have you been since you got here?
No, I have. I got here, we moved here in 2005.
Oh, okay.
But the last time I was in Bangladesh was in 2008.
Yeah.
So, it's been really long, and I miss it a lot, to be honest.
So your dad, though, I know, is very involved. I know he performed at the Robi Mela, I think, last year.
Yeah.
And I know he's very much into Rabindra Sangeet. Does he play a role in the kind of music you like to listen to and you like to play?
He actually introduced me to a lot of classic Bengali music. He's a very open-minded person. He also tries to encourages me in playing rock music as well. We always share music. He also got me into a lot of Bengali literature. Rabindranath.
Yeah.
His stories, some of his poetry.
Yeah.
So I was learning on all about that stuff. So we connect culturally a lot.
Yeah, I think I saw a video of yours where you actually did a remix. I'm not sure if it was Rabindra Sangeet, but it was a very old song.
Oh yeah, it's Ruby Roy by by R.T. Barman.
Oh, okay.
It's something I did with my friend Yaman, our keyboardist. And we try to remake that old song just to put it into a new flavor. So people of our generation, of our age, we enjoy a little guitar, a little drums in our music. So we try to remake that song in our own taste,
Yeah, and that's our generation. But when we go to these Bengali programs, we notice that a huge amount of the audience is actually our parents' generation, and we have to appeal to them as well.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that?
It's difficult to appeal to all of them. What we try to do is most of the time, when the audience is older, for our parents' age, we try to keep the music a little more mellow. We try to do some old songs, just it's very important for the artist to connect with their audience. So it's something we always think about before going through the performance, for sure.
Okay. So, Ovik, before we wrap up our interview, is there anything you'd like to tell our audience at home?
Of course.
তুমি তো বাংলা বলতে পারো, তাহলে আমাদের প্যারেন্টস জেনারেশনের জন্য বাংলা একটা কিছু বলো।
অবশ্যই আমি সবাইকে একটা কথাই বলতে চাই যে বাঙালি কালচার এমন একটা জিনিস যেটা আমাকে অনেক এলাইভ রাখছে, অনেক জীবিত রাখছে দেশ থেকে এত বছর দূরে থেকেও। বাংলা গান শুনে, বাংলা মুভি দেখে, বন্ধুদের সাথে বাংলা কথা বলে, সব কিছু করে দেশ থেকে এত দূরে থেকেও যেন দেশের সাথে কানেক্টেড আছি। সো আপনাদেরকে ওটাই বলতে চাই যে আপনাদের ছেলে মেয়ে, আপনার আশেপাশে যত মানুষ আছে, আপনি যদি কালচারটাকে ভালোবাসেন, এটাকে স্প্রেড করি যাতে আমরা সবাই, যাতে এত দূরে থেকেও আমরা দেশের সাথে কানেক্টেড ফিল করি, এটাই বলতে চাই।
এবং আমাদের কালচার খুবই রিচ একটা কালচার, যে এখানে থাকার অবস্থায় সাদা মানুষও আমাদের কালচারটা অ্যাবজর্ব করে। And we want to be on the forefront and celebrate Bengali culture as best as we can. So that being said, Ovik, thank you so much for being on my show. It was a pleasure to get to know you better, even as a friend. And now I'm going to ask Ovik to perform for us a little bit, just so you can see what I mean by extremely talented musician and a very unique voice. Let's hear it.
Thank you. এটা আমার খুব প্রিয় একটা গান অর্ণবের, এটার নাম হচ্ছে লুকিয়ে। আমার তোমার কোথাও হারিয়ে যাওয়ার কথা আমার তোমার কোথাও লুকিয়ে থাকার কথা সময় কি আমাদের স্বপ্ন দেখাবে নাকি নিয়ে যাবে আরো দূরে চলো ভাগি এই আশা একসাথে হাত ধরে সেই চলা মিষ্টি শীতে ভোরে বিকেলে আমার তোমার কোথাও হারিয়ে যাওয়ার কথা আমার তোমার কোথাও লুকিয়ে থাকার কথা এত কিছু কি আমাদের আজ হওয়ার কথা এত কিছু কি আমাদের আজ বোঝার কথা আমার তোমার কোথাও হারিয়ে যাওয়ার কথা সময় কি আমাদের স্বপ্ন দেখাবে নাকি নিয়ে যাবে আরো দূরে চলো থাকি এই আশা একসাথে হাত ধরে সেই চালা মিষ্টি শীতে ভোরে বিকেলে আমার তোমার কি কোথাও হারিয়ে যাওয়ার কথা
Wow. Well, viewers, I hope you now understand what I mean when I say talented musician with a unique voice. I mean that, by the way. And Ovik, thank you so much for performing for us.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
প্রিয় দর্শক, দেশে বিদেশে দ্য বিথিকা শো দেখার জন্য অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আগামী অনুষ্ঠানে আবার দেখা হবে। ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন, চোখ রাখুন দেশে বিদেশের পর্দায়।